Welcome to the Fancy Thinker. I'm Jared Quartermanch, and I just wanted to give you my quick thoughts on, non-spoilery thoughts on Roger Zelazny's Lord of Light. I will be having a discussion coming out tomorrow, I think, um, with some of my friends from Page String on this book, and that would be a full spoiler discussion. But for now, I'm just going to go over a few things in this book that for the person who hasn't read it yet and would like to try it out. First off, I just recommend it highly because this book is a trip. It's a lot of fun. It's written back in 1967, I think, and I believe it's won a couple of awards here and there. Um, so this book, Lord of Light, it takes place on this, this a different world that humans have populated at some point. None of that is actually really that relevant or explained. What this book does is the Lord of Light is basically Buddha. It's a Buddha figure. Um, and he's also a god on this world where there are other gods from the Hindu mythology. You have Shiva, you have Brahma, you have Ganesh, you have um, Kali. All those Hindu gods, but they're all considered the first people, um, and that is tied into the caste system that is very relevant in Hindu society and in Buddhist society as well, Indian society, and so that is all tied up into how this world works. And these first people, these gods, they how Zelazny explores what gods are and the absurdity of what being a god is, and that immortality and how they achieve it in here is through a scientific process, but it's not fully explained that way, and it's not certain that the people even view it that way. They view it in a religious manner, and so it's quite entertaining in that Zelazny's exploring what it means to be a god. And a lot of these gods, they're actually kind of uh, whimsical in their attitude. They're kind of bored, and so they create um, problems. They it's like they're playing a game. They're playing a game. They're always playing a game. They're playing this cosmic chess game with their lives, and the pieces of the world, the people in the world are their chess pieces. And so, um, and it's all so very tongue in cheek, and yet so deep in some of its philosophical meanderings and meaning. And 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 I'll be honest, I didn't get everything that was going on in this book. There's a lot of deep, complex things going on, but yet Zelazny's prose was a joy to read. It made it easy to read, easy to go through, and it was very nice. It was very flowing and poetic, and you can really you can really get make your way through this pretty quickly. Um, but don't expect to understand everything. Uh, as I didn't until you know once we had the discussion on this book. A lot of things came out that was like, oh, okay, yeah, now I get it. But and that's okay though, because it's definitely, I think, worth going back through and rereading some of this stuff, because it's, like I said, it's fun to read. um Zelazny plays with technology a little bit with this book. You know, technology basically becomes magic in this book for these gods. The level of technology that these first people have, these gods, is nothing more than magic to the rest of the rest of the populace on the thing. There's a lot of little funny hints in here about what some of the technology may be. Somebody's shooting light, and you think it's probably like a ray gun or something, a laser gun or something like that. But he leaves you to guess that stuff. He doesn't actually come out and explain it beyond being that God's attribute or that God's magic or that magic item. And so it's really fun to try to think about that stuff and what it actually is, and the whole because the gods, they move from body to body. They're able to transfer consciousness through a scientific method, and it's really neat to think about. What could the actual science be behind it? You don't know. It's not explained. It's still magic as far as the people of the world are concerned. And like I said, that Zelazny plays with caste. There's a certain level of power to the gods themselves, and also to the people in the world and the original inhabitants of this world, which are just called demons in here because that's more like magic, but it's actually the original alien inhabitants of the world, and how they are portrayed, and that they're considered spirits or demons to the humans who have taken over this place and lived here for we don't know how long, but assuming millennia or millennia. And there's a sense of in a lot of mythologies, there's always a an end and a beginning, like a cyclic type of um, existence. And so very similar to when in the Norse mythology, when Ragnarok comes, and then there's a new beginning, and then eventually Ragnarok will come again. There's that sense in here as well. And Zelazny plays with that concept a little bit. So you have that in here, and I just really love how it all put together. I think this is a great read. It's worth reading, and it's also like worth reading again because you're gonna get more out of it as you delve into it further a second time, because it's there's a lot to take in, and but it's also beautiful and well written, and the prose is nice, and so I think you're gonna like it for that reason. Um, Even if you don't quite understand everything that's going on right away. Lots of names are used in here. Uh, the main character himself, who's um, referred to Buddha a couple times, but also has the name. He's just called Sam at some point, which is a name that's shortened from a longer Indian sounding name that he takes off both sides, and he actually says that in a comedic manner in here. And he's called Sam, and he's also called Siddhartha, and he has the main character has like 6 or 7 names, and so he and that's not and it's not just him that has that many names. So sometimes it's a little tough to keep track of who's talking to who because the names change so often, and you gotta you realize it after a while, so you gotta just go okay. Zelazny doesn't hit you over the head with stuff. His words are subtle, and he lets the reader you know be the reader figure it out. He doesn't talk down to you as a reader. He definitely you know it, he doesn't dumb it down for the reader. He's he's saying he's giving us the chance to use our minds to help figure out what's going on in here, and I appreciate that a lot. Um, and so I think this is definitely something that people are going to go back to and read again. So, like I said, Roger Zelazny's Lord of Light. There's a lot to be said about this book. It's a good book, and I highly recommend it. And so, with that said, please be good to each other. Thank you.